Trailblazer Weekly marches on this Wednesday afternoon, August 21st, and time for one of our favorite segments. It's the Tracking Trailblazers segment where we go back, we talk to a former player or a former coach who has moved on and is excelling at the next level. Today we are excited to welcome to the show former Dixie State baseball pitcher and current member of the Milwaukee Brewers playing in Biloxi in the AA affiliate. It's Dylan File. Dylan, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you guys have a game here in just a little bit. We're excited to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's just jump right into it, Dylan. Man, it's been a fun couple of years for you, and not that the college years weren't fun as well, but talk about your time in the pros so far. I mean, take us back over these last couple of years, getting that phone call, getting drafted into the Brewers organization, and then just this last summer getting promoted to AA, and the experience that's been.
Yeah, so it all started with the draft, obviously. That was my welcoming to pro ball, and that was a disaster. So my expectations were not high, but that was fun because I got to spend time with my family, and they all got to witness how that played out, and so that was an experience that I'll never forget. And then went off to Helena, Montana for a short season, and after that went to Instructs and then spring training, and spent all last year in Appleton, Wisconsin for my first full season. And that was an experience I'll never forget as well, playing 140 games. And made like 25 starts, I think, 120-something innings. So it was definitely something new for me. And then this year, being in High A, got the promotion to High A. And then in June, I got the call for AA. So it's been a ride. It's been fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been quite the ride. Maybe feel like a roller coaster at times. What was that like? What's that been like to get those those individual calls at the High A, you said, and then specifically this last summer you get the call up to AA. You feel like maybe that hard work and that roller coaster ride of a draft finally starting to pay off, huh?
Yeah, so last year I had a very shaky year. It was the definition of a roller coaster. I would start one game and I would throw 6 or 7 innings, 1 run. Very next game it'd be 3 innings with 6 runs. Game after that I'd have an 8-inning shutout. Next game I'd have a 1-inning, 10-run inning. So it was definitely a roller coaster, and it made you think a lot about baseball because you're like, man, this is not good. So and then the Brewers stuck with me and called me up this year to High A, and this year has really been a turnaround for me. Something clicked, and I found the strike zone with all my pitches, and they like the path that I'm on right now. And then in June they gave me that call and kind of confirmed to me what I was thinking, that my season has been going pretty well, and my pitches are kind of where I want them to be right now. We're on the right track, and they sent me up here to Biloxi to AA. So since then it's just been a lot of fun, just getting to pick these guys' minds that have been here for 8-9 years, and just the guys that have been around the game for a long time. And I don't know, it's been a lot of fun, man.
We're chatting with Dylan File live here on Trailblazer Weekly, former DSU standout, currently with the Biloxi Shuckers and the Milwaukee Brewers organization. Round 21 overall draft pick in the 21st round, I should say. But Dylan, I mean, you said, got off to a little bit of a shaky start to your career, but you've certainly settled down, at least at your time up there at AA with the Shuckers. 12 starts for you up there, just 1 start. You allowed more than 3 runs, which is tremendous. 11 out of 12 you've allowed 3 runs or less, including 6 with just 1 run or less. So you've certainly settled down. Just talk a little bit about kind of what you've been able to find. You mentioned, being able to find the strike zone with all of your pitches. What else has been, maybe some instruction, maybe some better coaching up there in AA? What has it been exactly that you've been able to settle in and find there?
I would say probably just, paying attention, really. And I give a lot of props to Coach Fate back at Dixie for that. He taught us how to pay attention to detail, and I think that's brought me a long way. And what I mean by that is, like, pay attention to the little things like a hitter's timing or something in their mechanics that can tip off, how I can beat them. And being able to pay attention to that more and more as I'm getting called up and as I'm playing more and seeing different swings and stuff like that. Just being able to notice stuff like how they take swings at certain pitches, or maybe a little hitch in their swing that'll expose the inside half of the plate. Just stuff like that. It's baseball's a lot more than just throwing the ball over the plate, and it's something that I'm learning how to put into my game and my game planning before and during the game. So I think that's brought me a long way.
8-2 currently right now for the Biloxi Shuckers up there in AA, a 2.62 ERA. Just pitching tremendously. It's fundamental for us to be able to see kind of your results over the past couple of months. Your best start was back on August 5th. 7 innings pitched, no earned runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. We're getting to see a little bit of your highlights here live on Trailblazer Weekly. Dylan, take us through. You mentioned you learned a lot from Coach Fatenhauer back here at Dixie State. What has been kind of some of the differences you've seen going, college to pro as you moved up into the low A, high A, and now into double A? What's kind of some of the differences you've seen from college to the pros?
Honestly, I think it's a complete different game, if I'm being honest with you. College ball, you have it's like 50 games, and everyone counts. You're trying to make the regional. Guys are so scrappy, trying to get on base, trying to move runners over, trying to get any run they can. And here it's more like guys just want to hit, And if you're not hitting laser beams all over the park, they're kind of upset. And you can't blame them. That's what they're here for. That's what they're getting paid to do. So college ball, you get your leadoff guy on base. The next guy is probably going to bunt. Maybe that guy's going to try to steal. Then they're going to try to bunt, whatever. Either way, it's a lot of small ball. And here it's just a lot of guys trying to get their money's worth and hit a ball 600 feet. And the other thing, too, is the wood bats. Obviously that's going to play a big factor in how you pitch. You can actually beat guys inside now. And if you jam them, their bat's probably going to shatter. And in college, it's not always the case.
Chatting with former Dixie State pitcher and current Biloxi Shuckers pitcher and the Milwaukee Brewers organization AA affiliate. It's Dylan File joining us on Trailblazer Weekly. It's the Tracking Trailblazers segment where we go back and we chat with players and coaches who have moved on and are excelling at the next level. Dylan, you mentioned part of your time. You mentioned Coach Fatenhauer and how big of an asset he's been in your career. Of course, Dylan File, for those of you that don't know, is still the Dixie State career leader in wins at 20 and strikeouts at 193. Dylan, you enjoyed a great 3 years here at Dixie State. What are some of the biggest lessons that you were able to take from Dixie State into the pros?
Probably learning how to overcome and deal with the failures that come with baseball. I started off my career at Dixie really well. As a freshman, winning Pac-West Freshman of the Year. And then from there, it kind of seemed like I kind of had a decline as I was moving forward. And, so in my eyes, it wasn't the best career that I feel like I could have had. I feel like I could have done better. So learning how to take, the things that I've done wrong and the things that I wasn't so good at, and turning them into advantages and turn them into things that I can work on and things to get better at to improve me. I think that's probably the biggest lesson I learned, as far as going into the pros, because, there's always something to work on here. Guys are always giving you tips on what they're seeing and what you're doing on the mound to give off, different pitches, or maybe there's a difference between what you do when you come set and pick off between what you do when you come set to pitch. So guys will see that and they'll be like, okay, he's pitching on a steal right here. So there's always those things that you're not so good at that you think you're good at, and you need to, you know, humble yourself and learn how to get better at all aspects of the game.
Well, that's pretty incredible. We're just soaking this stuff up here, Dylan. This is good stuff. We always looked at you and said, "Man, look how good this guy is." And it does take, you know, a special personality, a special person to be able to sit back and say, "You know what? I do need to improve on this." And it's certainly showing this year. Let's talk a little bit about your life as a pro. I mean, you know, my view on minor league baseball, it only goes as far as the ESPN 30 for 30. Jordan rides the bus. You know, what's life like as a pro in the minor leagues?
It is definitely a grind. People say you always hear the thing minor league grinders, and that is so true. Minor leagues is a grind. You know, like I said, playing 142 games and, you know, always on a bus, it seems like, and just always away from the family, obviously, and you know, just the little things that people don't see. You know, we're always trying to find people to live with us because guys are always getting sent up and called down, and you know, we got to have our own house out here. Trying to. I mean, for example, I had my place in Carolina, and then I got called up, so then I had to go try to figure out someone to take my lease for those guys back there, and then I had to find out a place to live here, and so it's all that stuff, and then, you know, it's just playing 140 games. It's a beat down on the body for sure.
Dylan, take us through. Take us through even more into your life. I want to know a little bit day in the life of Dylan File. You wake up, games, you know, late in the afternoon, maybe at night. You're pitching that day. Take us through kind of your routine. You wake up in the morning, games later at the night. Just give us a walkthrough of what a day in the life of Dylan File is.
So, I get really nervous when I pitch. So, and I'm really into video games. So I wake up and I get myself a breakfast at, you know, probably 10 o'clock. And then really the majority of my day is spent playing video games, so I have zero thoughts about baseball. Otherwise, I'm gonna be sitting in bed just thinking all day long and just wearing myself out. So I try to get myself as far away from baseball as I can. I do that with video games. So basically, I'll just play video games all day until, you know, 3. If the game's at 6:30, I'll be at the field around 3-ish. And then that's kind of when I lock in. So I'll go in and, you know, get changed and try to relax a little bit. And then we'll go in and watch some video on the guys that I'll be pitching against that night. Usually I'll watch what I've done against them in the past. If I haven't faced them, I'll try to find somebody that kind of has the same pitches as me, pitches the same way. So I'll go in, watch some video, write all my notes down, and then usually try to get my mind off it again. I'll play some cards with the guys. And then about 5, on a 6:30 game, about 5 o'clock, I'll start doing my pregame stretches and getting the body ready, and then get ready for the game and go start my warm-ups about 30 minutes before. So usually my day is pretty spent with video games.
Got to be grinding that Fortnite all day long, I guess. You know, we hear a lot of times, you know, at least from the major league perspective, you know, guys maybe being sent down, maybe rehab assignments, injuries, that kind of thing. Has there been anyone from the Brewers organization, the big club with the MLB team, is there anyone of note maybe that has come down, done a rehab assignment at AA? Do you have any sort of experience like that with maybe one of the guys at the big league club? Maybe they came down and gave you some advice. Any sort of experience like that? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but is there anything like that you've had in your career so far?
Last year, actually, in Wisconsin, we got quite a bit of rehabbers. We had Tyler Saladino, Matt Albers, Zach Davies, all those kind of guys. This year, the only one we've had is Brent Suter. He was with us for about a week. But, you know, you don't really pick their mind on that kind of stuff because we're all baseball players, and they don't want to hear it all day long either. So most of it, honestly, is just spent like observing them and seeing, what makes them a big leaguer. You know what I mean? And I think that goes just as far as, picking their mind on how they throw and stuff, is watching how professional they are and how they take care of their business and get stuff done. So yeah, I think that's, it's been really cool seeing how Brent Suter does it and how Zach Davies goes about his day. And, those are successful guys in the show, so it's fun to watch.
It's Dylan File here on Trailblazer Weekly, the Tracking Trailblazers segment. Dylan, we've run out of time, and we've got to let you get going so you can get with your team for tonight's game as well. But we appreciate you taking some time, and we're following your career with great anticipation. And congratulations on the success this season, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.